A subscriber asked me a very important question. He asked me how could he convince his teacher to bump his grade up a few points because it was important for him to get a higher grade to be able to get into a better school or something along these lines. And his name was Adrian Shu, I think. So Adrian, this video is dedicated to you. So in life, you will need to try to convince some people to do certain things, whether it's teachers for grades or your boss for a promotion or just, I don't know, some random person that you need to convince to do something. Okay? So, how do you go about it? First mistake is if you go out there to your teacher and you tell them why you need them to bump up your grade. So if you go to your teacher and you tell your teacher, please give me 2 extra points because I need to get into this college or into this school. And if I don't get into that school, my life will just get fucked or whatever. And if you just say that, the teacher, you in your brain, you think that your teacher is going to listen to you and to sympathize with you, right? But that's not what's going to happen. Why? Because your teacher hears these excuses and these stories, these sob stories, every single day. And it sort of becomes, the teacher becomes immune to these stories. So what do? If I were you, the first thing I do is, you mentioned that it was a math test that you got a bad grade on. And you need to understand that everyone has a bad day. I have bad days, you have bad days. So if you do bad on a math test, it's not the end of the world. You just need to know how to just bounce back from that failure. That's just it. Okay? So it's a completely normal thing to do bad on a test or to fail in a certain area in life. So the first thing I would do if I was in your place, okay, it's a math lesson, right? It's a math course. I don't know what math you're currently studying, but whatever it is, go open your book or the internet, okay, and find very hard questions. Okay, they don't have to be extremely hard, but find hard questions. Okay, if you can't find enough questions on your book, well, you have the internet, okay? So find hard questions and start solving as many as you can. The more, the better, okay? I mean, if get a copybook and start writing solutions to all of these different problems, okay? You want to solve as many hard problems as you possibly can. And then you send them to your teacher. And before you ask for anything, you tell your teacher, listen, I know I did bad on my previous test, but I'm not here to make any excuses. I'm here to learn. And to prove to you that I'm here to learn, I took time out of my day or took time out of my weekend to solve different problems, hard problems in the chapter that we're currently on. And then after that, you tell your teacher, you ask the teacher politely, you don't beg. Begging is the worst thing that you could do. Ask your teacher, tell your teacher that you would appreciate it if he would reconsider your grade. And some of you might go and ask your teacher for a retest or a makeup test. And most teachers will say no. Why? It's not because the teacher hates you. No. It's because if he gives you a makeup test, he's going to have to give everyone a makeup test. And the whole class will get used to this whole makeup test sort of idea. So they won't study for the first test, the real test, and they just rely on the makeup test. So this will be more work for the teacher because he'll have to make 2 tests and he'll have to correct 2 tests. That will be double the work for your teacher, And the students will get demotivated. They won't study for the first test, and they will procrastinate. They'll make excuses. So this whole makeup test idea, I just want you to forget about it. Okay? Just for future reference, okay? Forget about it. You know, it's only a handful of teachers that will give you makeup tests, and you don't really rely on these makeup tests. Don't ever rely on makeup tests, okay? Always study for the real test, because you never know when the teacher might tell you, okay, there will be no makeup test. So always study for the first test, the real test. And in case you're in a situation like this, do as I said. Solve as many problems as you can. Don't solve the easy problems. Solving easy problems won't prove anything to your teacher. You need to impress the teacher. 99% of these students will beg the teacher for better grades. But it's only the 1% that will do the work, that will show the teacher that, okay, I'm not no regular student. I'm a person who's willing to put in the work and then get a better grade. You're not there to beg. Once you start begging, you lose everything. You lose your negotiating stance. Always, 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 always provide the teacher, or provide the person that you're trying to negotiate with. Provide them with things, provide them with resources before you sit on the negotiating table. If you don't have resources in your hand, if you don't have fighting material, because this is fighting material, it's negotiation materials. If you don't have negotiation material, you won't have a place to sit on the table. Get some material and sit on the table and negotiate with your teacher. If you don't have any material, if you don't have any resources, if you don't have anything, then you can't sit on the table with the big guys. You can't sit on the table with the teacher and negotiate. It's as simple as that. People try to overcomplicate it, but it's not. It's really very simple. Put in the work so you prove to your teacher. You can't ask your teacher without some sort of proof that you've actually improved. You improved your math. Because the teacher is there to teach you and make sure that you sort of understand the material at hand, understand the topic at hand, understand math or English or whatever topic it is, understanding. That's the aim. That's the main goal of the teacher. And if you can show the teacher that you understand, that you've learned from your mistakes, I don't see a reason why the teacher won't sit there and reconsider your grade. Go ahead and start doing this right now. Don't beg. Don't beg. Start putting the work. Put in the work. That's just my advice. It's as simple as this. Put in the work.